Hello and welcome to 30 Frames a Second. That's right. You know what day it is. It's Takeover Tuesday. This is the day where Nat allows the women of the control room, those of us who run it when he's out front, to take over for him and take over the show. Now, mind you, he's still in control. Don't let him fool you. But it's 30 frames a second, and this is Takeover Tuesday. Control room, let's get started with the party. Sierra, and I am joined by two incredible women, my hosts for today's show. We are missing one of our favorite people. We give her a shout out, Nikki, wherever you are right now. Next to me to my right is Miss Sheila Berry. She's the executive producer of the Gospel Showcase. She's also the producer of Community Cop and the Albert A. Lewis Gospel Hour producer. Welcome, Sheila.
Hello there. How's everyone doing on this beautiful day?
It is a beautiful day.
My weather.
Yeah, you look like you got a suntan. I'm going to get over that. I've been stuck inside. And next to her, one of my favorite women in the world, and one of the most talented women as well that I know, Miss Veronica Kitt, also known as VK. She is the founder of the People's Film Festival. She's also the producer and head host of the VK Report. She's a director, editor, writer, genius, and all the other stuff. I think you got every job but what? You don't model, or do you? Please say that for some other people.
Maybe
cook.
Okay, you do try to sing, because I tell you often not to. No,
yes.
no.
Yes.
No.
Yes, yes.
But every other job you own. Hello, and how are you this wonderful summer day?
I'm good. I do cook. I just don't care to. But when I cook, I burn.
All
yes,
right.
you do.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Okay. I'm going to take your word for it. All right.
Yeah.
Finally, summer is here in New York City.
And you look very summery.
I think we all kind of
Talk
got an
about
island. Let's all.
Yes, darling.
Yeah, we could all be on some island right now. I think in different.
I'm on my way to Jamaica.
Okay. I think I'm going to head to Costa Rica, Bolivia, Curacao.
Yeah.
What about you?
Love
Where are you on your way
Curacao.
to? If you could go anywhere right now.
Malaysia. But I mean, if I'm trying to keep with the tradition, I'll say Ghana.
Ghana. Have you been to Ghana?
I've been to Ghana. I love it.
Wow. What did you love about Ghana?
I think the people.
Okay.
The way they connected with us, the way, you felt very comfortable and felt at home. It was amazing. When I left there, I felt like I wanted to live there. I want to buy property. I want to move to Ghana.
Now, VK, was that because you are somebody special and they look up to you? Could have every day? No, because we're going to start out talking about tourist destinations and traveling and getting outside of the United States, which, by the way, I believe is the best form of education that you could ever have.
Yeah.
I, too, have gone to Africa. I went to Senegal, the Ivory Coast,
How did you like Senegal? I didn't
Tunisia.
like Senegal.
It was okay. I just felt as if people kept trying to force me to say I was Senegalese because they say I looked a lot like the women there and got very upset. Well, you should know and this and that. And I was like, well, okay. I mean, we all know that, I believe, anyway, life began in Africa. So I guess I may be, but I can't specifically say. I also went to Ethiopia, which I really love the food. And I went on safari, which I don't ever care to go on. Again, for some reason, 2 baboons decided to make love in front of my tent every morning. And if you ever heard 2 baboons making love, and it was really funny because we had walkie-talkies in our tent.
Yeah.
And they told me, do not come out. Whatever you do not interrupt their mating.
Oh my
so I'm
God.
stuck in my tent and they're out front of my door just, making sounds that, and all the girls were cracking up, all the other girls. I was there to
would've been
help build an orphanage. I was the first 2 days. Then I they go to the same place. So they started in front of my tent wherever. I just happened to pitch. I actually infringed on their area. So I put my tent where they were doing this before. How would I know? But Ethiopia. But okay, so you enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, I loved it. I love it. Actually, I went with Dr. Jeffries and Professor Smalls and his wife, Dr. Rosalind Jeffries. And it was an amazing experience. I think if you do travel to Africa for the first time, if you're doing this historical piece, you must, but I think it's, it's important to travel with someone, a historian that knows the history and knows the land. Professor Smalls, he actually has a hotel there now that he owns as a result of their travels. But we were, each day we were going out to various different locations, meeting the chiefs on the bus with the people coming from different locations. I say it was like a think tank because everyone there was there very knowledgeable about us, about our people, about our culture, about the history, and just coming up with ideas how to change the world, if you will, how to bring us back home. When I first went to Africa, I went to Senegal. I didn't really have the best experience, even though I went there with open arms and heart and mind, and I'm coming back home. And by the time I was finished with that trip, I was like, you know what, America is my home. My ancestors were taken from Africa. They were enslaved, but they built America, and I am as much American as I am not so much African, even though I'm African born. And so I came back with the thought to take whatever it is that I can here in America to build up what my ancestors built, the Kits in South Carolina, Orangeburg. The slave master was actually a congressman, and he was for slavery. But America, the fabric of America and what my ancestors stood for is me. And that's what I first learned when I went to Africa. Because, the experience was, oh, my sister, buy for me. So we were treated like tourists. And then eventually they began to embrace us. So that was uncomfortable. But when I went to Ghana, it was like, it was amazing. It was open arms. And Dr. Leonard Jeffries, we went to visit the slave forts. And so we went into this female slave dungeon, and she took us in, all the women. And we, were in a circle, poured libations and everything. They actually closed the door. So we were in there. She was talking to us, asking us to, think about our history, our childhood. Everything. It started getting hot in there, and you're just talking and you're remembering. By the time it was over, everybody was a ball of tears, was crying, and then someone opened the door and the wind just rushed through this door, and we stepped out, and when we looked to our right, there was the door of no return. And I was like, this was the most powerful experience because, you know, we just broke ourselves down as women and we were built back up, but when we walked out that door, there was that door of no return. And
What is the door of no return?
that is where the slaves left the dungeon to get on the ship
Okay.
and never ever return.
Wow.
The door of no return.
Okay.
And it literally is a door. If you go to that door, you will see rocks and water. And the funny thing about being in these slave dungeons is that the smell was, you can, yeah. Not so much in Senegal because, you know, they painted the walls and things like that. But in Ghana, I mean, I connected it. And I think a lot of us connect when we go to Ghana, the West Coast, because a lot of slaves came from that
from there.
side, on the west side. I think there's like 66 forts or something like that. So that was the most powerful experience. And then, you know, I was having these imageries of things that was going on. I was seeing stuff. And nothing wrong with me. But I recall, because I had my camera, of course, so I said, okay, everybody was out pouring libations, everything. I said, okay, I'm going to run inside real quick and get some shots before everyone come in because I want clean shots of this female slave dungeon. So I walk in there and I'm shooting around, you know, looking up where the slave master was look on the, you know, the white, you know, they would look down at the women and pick who they want. And, you know, so I'm just envisioning what it was like. As I walk by on my left, there's a woman sweeping inside the yard. Old woman, rag on her head, you know, dressed, just sweeping. So I look at her and she walks over to me, she does like this. And I was like, I was sitting there checking, I said, I don't have anything. She's like, and she's saying something. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I don't have anything. And so then I walk a few feet in front of her to keep shooting. When I turned back around, she was gone. I was like, wow, where did she go? So now I'm in there alone and still shooting. Then all of a sudden a bird flies by. Weep, weep, weep. Another bird, weep, weep, weep. Within, I don't know, the next few seconds, all of a sudden these birds, weep, 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 flying over my head. I was like, oh, what the? Boom, I cut out. I got to get the hell out of here. I was like, what is this? You know, it was almost as if they were saying, get out, get out, get out. I ran. So funny thing is that when we got back a couple of months later, so, you know, we're telling the story of Dr. Professor Smalls and everything, and I was telling him, I said, yeah, I said, because when I went in there and the woman was sweeping, he says, what are you talking about? And I said, well, there was a woman that was sweeping in there. He says, no woman sweeps in there. I almost fell out my seat. I don't know if that was an apparition or whatever it was. He says, no. He says, they don't go in there and sweep and clean the female dungeon the way you saw it. And so it just freaked me out. And there was a lot of other little things I can go into detail.
Did you ever go where Nelson Mandela? I'm actually on hold to go to.
I wanted to. I haven't, but that's South Africa. And then, of course, they
I've never been.
I would love to.
I have a question. I've never been to Africa, but I was told by people who've actually moved to Ghana and came back over here for visits or whatever, that the food that you eat over there is killed, like the meat, if you eat meat, it's killed daily. The chicken's daily.
The fish.
Eggs and everything is fresh.
Extremely fresh.
grown,
And cheap. So here it is, you know, people say, well, I don't know to Africa, it's too expensive or it's too far away, you know, to travel. I think it was like 9 hours maybe, 9 or 14 hours. But, I mean, you can equate that to traveling to the Caribbean. So when you get there, the food, I think I spent $300 and I was there for 2 weeks. And I came home with tons and tons of things because you trade and you barter a lot. And, but the food, like first time I really had a gropa, they put this big giant fish with all of the different vegetables and rice, $6. It was huge, and it was the best. So the food was amazing, amazing. And then, like on the the beach. Like there's Labadi Beach, I believe that I hope I'm saying it right. But you had shacks, makeshift shacks all along the beach. They were jamming, partying. People on the beach, they walk in, the people would come up and they were selling their things, but people were hanging out. I was like, wow. Like this was so amazing. And then Sunday we went to church. We went to a gospel church.
Love
Dr.
it.
Camille Yarbrough, she made up a song right there on the spot, and they just joined in. We are family. I'll never forget the experience that I had, but it was amazing.
Sheila, where was your favorite place if you had to choose one that you would tell our viewers that's a must-see, whether it be visual, whether it be the people, the food, the country? Where is it that you travel?
My favorite place is Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay.
It put me in, I've been to every island except for 2 in the Caribbean, and I miss Jamaica, that's why I'm so happy, and Trinidad, those are the only. But when I go to South Carolina, it reminds me so much, especially of the Bahamas. You see the people weaving their baskets down by the seaport, the food, which is the seafood that I love so much, and the different restaurants and places to shop. Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay.
I've been there too, and I know what you mean with the basket weaving. That was amazing the way.
My days of living in Paris, I often remember that my African friends there, and there was a very big, large African community, would ask me to get a taxi because the taxi cab drivers would stop for me and not for them. And I remember for a long time that puzzled me. Well, we're both of dark skin. Because the taxi cab drivers looked at me as a tourist and them as someone that wasn't welcome there. My tourist dollars were welcome there. Them living there without the benefit of being born there. And I just want to clear up that it wasn't so much France itself, because the south of France, the people were warm. It was in Paris itself, which is the capital of fashion. You have to pay your dues to be a top model. You have to see Paris. But if you were to ask me my favorite place in the world, and one I would ask everyone to go see, believe it or not, would be Rome.
Wow.
Rome held everything for me. The food was incredible. They make the pastas right there. I could eat pasta and bread. Rome was the first place I actually bit a tomato and said, get out of here. This is what a tomato is supposed to taste like. My mouth waters when I think of that. But I would tell you the architecture where they don't tear down the old things. They celebrate the cathedrals. I went to where the gladiators fought, and I went to where the Pope does his speeches, and the people were just phenomenal. The culture, the food, everything. If I were to choose one place only that everyone would have to see on my dime, I would really tell you to go. And don't go, by the way, those of you who are watching and thinking about traveling, the month of August is the worst month to go to Europe. The entire continent of Europe, the entire country takes off the month of August. They're all on vacation. So you're going to find the tickets are cheaper, the hotels are cheaper, but when you get there, half the country is gone.
Wow.
France, Italy, Germany, all those countries take off the month of August. So I'm just going to highly suggest you don't go in August. Go when they're in full life mode.
It's funny. Someone told me that too. They said they went during where they were gone away.
Yeah, the countries are just quiet.
Nothing.
The streets, the jazz
stores,
clubs.
nothing. Everything is
half
gone.
the stores are closed and things. That's why it's
said the
less
worst
money for those who
experience-
don't know. Another thing, if you're going to travel abroad, please be aware of your surrounding. There is, I myself got attacked by gypsies in Paris.
Wow.
Where over 20 adults with kids attacked me at one time, and a couple pulled my backpack, then a couple went through really went through my body quickly. A couple went in my coat pockets, the backpack, they went in that, and I would say in the count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, they dispersed. And they all ran in different directions and had robbed me. So that happened in Paris, and I like to think I'm very on top of my game. So just, you know, I think what you said, first of all, it's always best to go with someone from the area. If not, then a tour. It's better to go with a tour. Don't stray. Don't carry a purse on one arm. Carry it over your shoulder. I love a fanny pack that actually goes under my shirt that you would have to really get into to do. But we highly suggest you travel and see the world.
Oh, yeah.
On that note,
Could I ask
Yes.
one more thing? And when you're getting off the airplane, have your bags with you, because in some countries they snatch your bags, or they look for you to give them a tip when you can carry the bag yourself. So be
Always
on top
carry
of
your bags.
baggage
Yeah, yeah. I
at
do.
the
I do.
airports.
Right.
yeah,
right.
my luggage actually got stolen in Milan. And it was right next to me. I literally got my suitcase and said, taxi, and then it was gone.
Wow.
Yeah, it was gone. So I've
my
definitely
goodness.
had my share of mishaps. I left $9,000
In it?
in a hotel in the island of Capri behind a dresser doing a fashion show once, and had gotten paid for Paris Fashion Week and Italy Fashion Week, and was doing a big show in the island of Capri for swimwear designers. And didn't want to leave the money in a dresser drawer, so I pulled out this huge bureau.
But they didn't have
and
those
put
little
the money.
safe.
No.
Oh, okay, okay.
No, and I wouldn't have trusted that anyway.
Oh, okay.
No, with my memory, I would
Yeah.
have locked my own money in.
Was it there
But
when
I
you got
pulled the
back?
dresser. Well, I forgot and got on the plane the next day.
Oh, you
And
left.
left $9,000.
Oh my God.
No, I got on the plane, and there was a very famous model. Those of you who are sitting at home, if you're near a computer, Google Anne Fiona, one of the most breathtakingly beautiful models. And she was on the plane, and she was, "Why are you crying?" And I just told her the story. We're on the plane, and we landed in Milan, and she did this. Ciao, come stai? Bene, bene. E tu? Grazie. And she started talking to her boyfriend, and she hung up the phone and said, "Lou, my boyfriend said for us to go to another part of the airport." I said, "Why?" She said, "We're going to take his helicopter and fly back to the island of Capri and get your money." And we went right there. I never, ever forgot this. I have so many pictures of me kissing her on the helicopter. And she kept saying, "Lou, it's enough now. It's
Yeah.
enough now.
Yeah.
Just, you learned your lesson. We don't do things like that anymore." And we got back to Capri.
And got your money.
Well, the hotel people were like, "You can't go in. Somebody's in the room." And Anne let them have it. She was Swiss and African, but she spoke. She could speak, read, and write 5 languages.
Wow. Wow.
And she let them have it in Italian. And we went up there with security, knocked on the door. The people in the room were like, "What do you want?" She kind of pushed them. We pulled this dresser, snatched the package, and left. She was like, "Just keep moving, Lou, because they don't know what's in that package." Keep moving, Lou.
Oh,
and we
my
went back and jumped on the
goodness.
helicopter.
And went on, and you got.
And unfortunately, she died in a drug bin in Africa. And Fiona, just an incredibly beautiful spirit and just a wonderful, wonderful person. But yeah, travel. That is the moral of that story. Get out of our surroundings. Quite honestly, last week I was in Shanghai, China.
Oh, yes. Talk about China.
Yeah. And, I learned a new word. To say perfect in Chinese is 1 Mei. Say it.
1 May.
Yeah, but say May.
May.
There you go. 1 May.
1 May.
And think like the 1st of May. 1 May.
Oh, what May?
Think 1st May. That's how you say perfect.
Perfect.
If you want to say something is perfect.
Oh.
Yeah, I try to pick up
What
a new
May?
word every time I go. So many wonderful
So how
things
was
happening
it
in
though?
the city.
Talk about
It was
that.
great.
It was. You did a fashion show there?
I did not. I went to work with the Miss China Universe organization. The girls will be soon having all the major competitions for the Miss Universe pageant. For those of you who are tuning in, I often forget to tell you what I do. I am the runway choreographer and coach for Miss USA. and Miss Universe for the last 11 years. So I often travel. Thank you. I often travel. I'm self-employed, so different countries can have me come in. It's my 5th time to Shanghai.
Yeah.
And I'd also gone to Beijing, which, by the way, if you can't decide between the two, think of Beijing as Boston and think of Shanghai as New York.
Okay.
Boston, the architecture, the business, it's a beautiful place to see. But Shanghai is where the action is and things never stop. And oh my gosh, the shopping.
Right.
And
But
so
has
that was
things
fun.
been different since Trump?
Everywhere.
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 How so?
Everywhere.
Meaning
Well,
embracing or
no, pushing back. Those they love. For instance, the person who brought me over made me a job offer, which for her is not an easy thing to do. It being a communist country and me coming over there to work, but she embraced me and said, "Lou, stay here." Stay here. The amount of racism, open racism, that has been unleashed on the United States and just hatred. Why would you go back when you could work anywhere in the world and think of it as learning, which is what I try to do when I'm in a different place, learning just something new for 2 or 3 years. There's nothing holding me
right.
to one place. But no, everywhere I go, people want to talk about
him.
especially when they find out what I do, because he was my employer.
Right.
he
So
was
then
my
you were
employer
able to
for
see
8
the
years.
best of both sides in a sense. So,
But my favorite
know him,
no
but-
comment.
yeah,
My favorite line, no comment.
I would say the
President
same thing.
45.
My
That's
favorite
his
line, no comment.
No comment.
No
There's
comment.
No way I would talk
So
about
there's
it.
so many great things going on in New York City.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what's coming up.
Yeah,
Because I
we
know
have,
Harlem Week is coming up soon. But you
Harlem Week?
Yeah.
I think if I'm correct, it's August 14th,
Yeah, it's
or
usually in a
18th.
17th, 18th,
Yeah,
something like that.
I
Yeah.
think if I'm correct, I have August 18th.
I'm having issues with my hair, guys. So, I'm just gonna.
Beautiful.
I'm just having.
It's beautiful.
Take your time, get it right.
Oh no.
So Harlem Week, August 18th. And there's a lot going on. There are films, which we know you know about.
Yeah.
There's music,
I know
food,
Image
vendors.
Nation is doing. They're showing fences in the park. Yes, I believe it's going to be at St. Nicholas Park. And I don't have the date, which is so unfortunate because I don't have anything with me. But yeah, but look up Image Nation. Image Nation is amazing.
What
because
is Image Nation?
They are an organization that really basically show films and bring it to the community, but they do it on such a large scale. Like during the film festival, they actually showed Black Panther. We collaborated with them. They showed the Black Panther film in the park at Marcus Garvey Park.
I love Marcus Garvey Park, Central Park. They have free films that you can go to. Get out.
Get out. You have to get out.
You have to get
You
out.
do,
I think
you
it has a
do.
lot to do with your psyche
Yeah.
and your mental when you stay in the house.
It sure does.
See,
And
I
make
love-
your world that small.
It does, and I love jazz. Like I guess it's pseudo jazz maybe, but I do. I like all. But I used to have my lounge chair in the car, and I would drive wherever it is, pull my chair out the car, sit down and watch a concert, live free concert. Sometimes I even like going to right in Central Park, the Delacorte Theater, watching Shakespeare in the park. Like just little
I have
things
that.
like
Shakespeare
that.
in the Park. You can do a kayak from the boathouse. They have kayak.
I did that before.
The
That's
Botanical
amazing.
Garden
Yeah.
in Brooklyn is exceptionally beautiful. It's really beautiful.
also.
The one in the Bronx. The Statue of Liberty from the viewpoint of the Staten Island Ferry. If you have never done that, there are just small things. The Bronx Zoo.
Oh, yeah.
The zoo. Get out and
they
visit.
have hip hop in the zoo. Aren't they doing? I think Melly Mel and Grandmaster Cass. They were doing. I can't think of what the name it was called, but I know it was hip hop in the Bronx. So I think it was every Wednesday or so, and you would go there and you would see this. They were jamming, basically, you know.
And don't forget, Bronx Zoo is free
Mm-hmm.
every Wednesday.
There
Yeah.
you go. So a lot of these things, many of the museums, we have the Guggenheim, we have the Museum of American Art, the Brooklyn Museum, the Museum of American Art. There are just so many things to get out. I think it's especially important for New Yorkers because we have so many cold days and so many rainy days. We really do see every season here. And if you want to be quite honest, I think it'll be 2 good months of summer out of 12. And I think your world becomes very small when you stay inside.
Yeah,
Me too.
yeah, it does.
It does.
agree.
Especially if you're a child.
Oh, and let me tell you, with my children growing up, every weekend we would choose, where do you want to go?
Love that.
Where do you want to go? What do you want to see? So we, you know, lived in a planetarium and, you know, the Museum of Natural History, but it was important that they went somewhere different so that they can learn and explore. And then, you know, as they get older, then they can pass that on to their children, and then that way they can see.
Well, what my nephew and I would do when he visited me for the summer was very close to that. We would choose a word and then try to investigate that word for the day. It could be worm, butterfly, bird, what kind of bird, and then we'd go out of our way that day to either find a bird in the sky. Of course, he was very, very young, but there are, if nothing else, the Highline Park.
It's
that
so nice.
That's nice. If you haven't, again, free. There's the African American Burial Ground that everyone should see. I personally love the Federal Reserve and the gold. Yes, I did. I don't care. Don't judge me.
Well,
don't judge me.
You talking Nat's language there. I seen him do the history of.
Of course he did.
He took it from the very beginning to what I'm like. Oh my God! He really amazes
Nat
me
is so
sometimes.
knowledgeable.
He
I
is.
know. I know you of all people know that.
With his big
watching the show. Would you leave
No,
his
I-
backside alone? You of all people watch the show, and I'm sure everyone out there, our viewing audience, knows that. But on a personal level, he really is one of the most knowledgeable people on so many topics.
really,
and
he is.
I know a lot of people say I know a little bit about a lot of things. Nat knows a lot about a lot of things.
Isn't that the truth?
It
It's
really is,
amazing.
which makes his head quite large. Don't take the camera off me, Nat, in the control
And
room.
he used to have a big
But,
afro. You remember the Foster Silvers? That's exactly what he was. I'm like, wow, look at you. Yeah.
But he is
Back
an
in the
incredible
days.
person.
Back in the days.
Speaking of big heads, there's the hot dog eating contest.
Oh, with the for the 4th of July.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Nathan's. Yeah.
One of my favorite
Joey
things to
Chestnut, he
do.
won again.
One of my favorite things to do is to go to any of the audiences for a late night show, or get up early enough to do Good Morning America or the Today Show here. About, I want to say 12 years ago, I was a David Letterman girl. If you watch David Letterman, I was one of the girls that did the funny things on there. And they do that twice a week where you can line up. It's free of charge to get in, and you
Really?
come in and watch. So there are just so many things you can do. We suggest, I know it's hot, but there are tricks to do that too. I freeze small bottles of water and carry them with me. During the day, I brought 2 frozen with me. I wet my scarf. I know you guys think I'm crazy, but I will wet my scarf that I tie my hair up with
Yeah.
to keep myself cool when it's one of these 100-degree days, so I could just get out. It's important, I think, especially for people of color. I think we need that in vitamin D. I was
Yes,
shocked.
yes,
I was
yes.
shocked at my low level of vitamin
Really?
D.
10,000 units per day.
Yeah.
That's right.
But let me ask a question, because you're looking all mahogany, bright
Thank you.
sunshine.
Hey.
Does colors have any effect on how we?
Absolutely.
Yeah, talk about that.
Absolutely.
Because here it is, this is bright sunshine, and it's hot. So we shouldn't wear this heavy black, but I wear it because I love it.
I do too.
No, I have yellow curtains.
Really?
Yes,
So you change.
to wake up, I change
Yeah.
on October. The
Yeah.
Halloween weekend, I changed my living room curtains that are Indian saris. They have reds and golds and yellows and oranges, so when it's snow and dim and gray outside, I get that. And in the summer, I change to white in my living room. I do sheer white curtains, and I do white throws and powder blue accent colors and light green. And in my bedroom, I do yellow. I do a bright yellow that has a sunblock, white, but I can wrap it, I tie it with rope. To wake up in the morning and there's bright color.
To be
It
refreshed.
stimulates the
Yeah, it
entire body. It's
does.
very, very important if
Because
you were to
I'm
be in a
doing
room.
white and lime green in my room, and I just love, like, oh my God, this is amazing. I
Well, that's the
love
same thing,
colors.
Veronica, when you
Bright
put those
lime
colors
green.
on and you walk in a room
Yeah.
and people see you and it's something you excite the pupil when you see that. And we as New Yorkers have a tendency to wear black because New York is so dirty. Between getting on the subway, no, it's true. My friends in LA, you know who you are.
Yeah.
Often say we wear black so much because our city
It's
is just
dirty.
a
It's the-
walking city,
Yeah.
and you don't get in your car too
Sometimes
often.
I don't see colors, but colors on me, but colors in the world, I just, I just love that.
Well, I'm going to challenge you. They look the same on you. When we look at you and you have on orange or yellows or greens, it does something.
Well, see, I'm rocking Mashoud, so I got red, black, and
What's
green.
Mashoud?
So Mashoud is a Nigerian designer, and he's in Brooklyn. And this is his signature. This
Okay.
is his logo. And every so often he changes it in, the different eyes. Sometimes it'll be gold. Sometimes, I mean, like, he's an amazing. He's been around over 20, maybe 30 years or so. And it was one time he had opened up shop in Harlem, but he went back to Brooklyn. Brooklyn
Okay.
is his staple. He's right on Fulton Street. So everyone wears Mashoud. I remember, I remember one time I saw Stevie Wonder. I said, is he really wearing Mashoud?
Well,
People
we now
wear
have
Mashoud.
Dapper Dan for Gucci or Gucci
Isn't
for
that
Dapper
something?
Dan.
Yes, Dapper
In
Dan,
Harlem?
Harlem.
Harlem.
And so, which was so cool. Back in the days, Dapper Dan was actually taking the logos and making jackets out of the logos of the different designers. And okay, of course, you can't, that's illegal. You can't do that. So at some point he, folded, but then now they're kind of bringing it back. And you had mentioned MoMA. They, a couple of months ago, they had an exhibit where they had all of the different fashion segments or years of how the fashion changed over the years. And they had I guess it was the urban hip hop section, and they had Dapper Dan. Now, and I believe you both know, my dear friend Danny, Des. That's his, I shouldn't say, but that's his father. And so he invited us out to see the clothing, to see the original jackets that he had created for his son. It was amazing. Yeah, but Dapper Dan. And so now he's partnered with Gucci. And
Well, just
hopefully
a slight
Steve
piece
Stout is
of
working with him.
FYI for our audience. The first African American to be accepted in the French Syndicale, which is the official French designer group, the first African American is named Patrick Kelly. And he was from Paris.
Love Patrick
And
Kelly.
Patrick was dear to so many African American models. His showroom was the place we could go to get a meal if we were hungry. It was a place we could wait if we only had one casting that day, but was too sad to go back to our rooms. Patrick was often asked, does he only use African American models? And he would refer back to a sign that he had up. You don't have to be African American to walk in my show. You just have to know how to walk. And he would point out there was always usually one Spanish or one Asian, but that was the place where if there
And
were
what was
40
his
models.
specialty?
He did everything, but he had,
Buttons.
well, when he first started out, he was known for the buttons.
buttons.
Yeah, he did buttons, but he was also known for his little black baby dolls, their collector
Yes,
items.
that's right,
He
I
did
remember.
snaps, he did dice. I have a whole collection where he did dice.
Really?
The buttons are dice, the jackets are dice. So
Wow.
he would do that. But Patrick allowed us to talk on the runway. he would literally say, girls, you can talk to yourself. So we'd be walking down the runway, and I never forget a very famous model looking at me once and saying, you may have body, but I got face. And I remember my frank reply was, when your face is old, I'll still have body. So he would allow us to talk to each other and just have fun on the runway. So
I'm gonna throw Sheila under the bus
Okay, which one? Which bus?
because back in Sheila days, Sheila was Cleopatra Jones. I seen some pictures. She would have the boots. I mean, like she was a super fly dresser. Yes, you were. And
Who
her
showed you those pictures?
and with your boot and her
Where did
pretty
you-
eyes
where did
and
you
her
get-
afro.
Who showed you those pictures?
And you told me. Gorgeous.
did you have a
Gorgeous.
favorite designer at any point?
Aunt Liz.
Okay. All right. Well, that happened. We
She
always
was-
had
she
people
was
in the
one
family
of-
who
she
could
was
sew.
one of a kind.
Uh-huh.
She gave fashion. She don't know. She was a local person from, born, raised in Charleston, South Carolina. Moved to New York, started doing hair. She worked for Rose Morgan's and
I
all the
remember
top
Rose
of- yeah,
Morgan.
it was Rose Meter at one time that she went to Rose Morgan. And she gave fashion shows, and she believed she would go to a thrift shop, get some furs, and put them together. You wouldn't know the difference. You thought you went to Antonovich or someplace. And she would make our clothes and put fur on the bottom. She was so rich.
Wasn't that great?
You
When
need-
you didn't need to think that you had to have red bottom shoes or, mom could go to a Salvation Army and find the cutest stuff. And
Put
the
it
peer
together
pressure
and-
that young people have today
Yeah.
is just between social media that you are not good enough, wealthy enough, cute enough, tall enough, thin enough. It saddens
That's
me.
what Aunt Liz broke me out the habit of. My mother went to the Salvation Army, and she bought me a skirt, and I threw a fit about it. Don't you ever bring me anything that's secondhand.
Wow.
And Aunt Liz had to show me a different way how to do things because I went through some changes in my life. And she said, no, this is how we do this. And you could take nothing and make it into
Absolutely.
But some of the
Absolutely.
clothing
Liz
from back
did.
then was
Yeah,
well
but there's several
made, much
points from
better.
that. There's several points. One, budget. Budget and saving and having priorities, what's more important.
And what I didn't tell anyone, and this is the first time that I'm mentioning it,
Uh-oh.
back in the day, my very, very first job was working as a marker in the fashion district on West 35th Street for Max J. Posner.
As a marker,
What's
what's a
You
marker?
put the tags on the clothes, and they would give.
Oh, mark them for
Yes,
pricing.
and they call it your marker.
Okay.
And the invoices would come, and before I would mark a rack, I had to make a copy of the invoices, and I would go to different houses and buy different clothes much cheaper than I would at the store. So I learned the different houses to go to. That's why it's so heartbreaking that the fashion district is not what it was after we had that tragedy. And that was 2000 with the World Trade tragedy. Everything changed. Nothing's the same. But
Well,
that's
on
what I
that
did.
note, I have recently been sent a picture that there is a major designer who will be using holograms for his Fashion Week
Oh, wow. I think I
show.
saw something like that.
Holograms. The most famous model right now, print model, is a digital model. And yep, she just landed a major cosmetic ad, so she's not real. I'm trying to tell young people who are trying to pursue a career in modeling that I just don't think it'll be there between the next 5 to 10 years.
Because
just
they
like
could create it.
telephone operators are
my
no longer
goodness.
in need.
Wow.
Librarians are no longer in need.
But
It's
there's
just
a
not an
shift
occupation.
in terms of what that occupation now becomes. Learn how to code. learn how to become
Absolutely.
a tech,
Yes.
so that you can create this,
Absolutely.
so that you can still stay in the game.
Absolutely.
And I think that's one of the reasons why we, for this past film festival, we did the Tech People Expo, so that people can see, like virtual reality now, how you're saying that this, you know, this animated
Holograms and things.
Yeah, so then now you created, so that now you can see. I bless my my niece. She is an editor, and she says that when she was little, I used to take her around with me, do little interviews and stuff like that. Now she's an editor. She wants to be an anchor, but she says that at least I'm picked that up, that skill, that I can take care of myself and pay her rent and live in Soho. You know, because so you pick up a skill. Pick up a tech skill, learn it, because this is all new technology. So
Well, start with your passion.
Yes.
Start with your passion.
Yes.
Because the worst thing I think in the entire world is to have to go to a job that you dislike. So definitely.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
whole world is everything is technology now. You go to the doctor, it's hard to find a doctor, these new ones, that really know you as a person. They know you on the computer, and that's
Wow.
it.
Wow.
Don't even really know what you look like except for your organs. And if you go to the dentist, he don't know what your face look like except for inside your mouth.
Well, I'm
Because
kind of
he look
fearful
at
of
it,
that. I don't
he
want to
looks
leave
at-
my digital imprint there. Like they says, oh, sign if you want your. Don't email me. I might change my email tomorrow and my phone number, everything. So don't. Like I'll go places and they'll say, "What's your phone number?" I'm like, "Okay, which one?" Because it could have been something different. Things changed, but that digital imprint, I think it lasts forever.
Well, there are a couple of things. First of all, whenever you get something in the mail that says we are revising our policies, be aware. I was on the phone yesterday for more than an hour with my mortgage company saying that they share my information. And they put it in such a slick letter that you're happy it's not a bill or anything. And if you don't flip it over to read it, and you have to call to say, please don't share
Don't do it.
my
Yeah.
information
Yeah.
with that. So I'm just telling everyone to please be aware when you say the digital footprint. The other thing I want to really ask everyone to do, if you do not own your name, please buy your name. What's moving forward in the world is, and you may have done this, when I was looking for a plumber, I Googled plumbers, Upper West Side, licensed. And the first 4 or 5 that came up, I looked on their website and I chose one. Well, their names came up because of the Google search engine, because they owned those names.
Wow.
Moving forward, if you're going to be a dentist, a doctor, a lawyer, anything, you must own your name. So I'm encouraging all parents with the young girls that I work with, go to GoDaddy.com, name domain, and buy your child's name. If it's at all possible, buy it .net, .org, and .com. And there may be even a name for branding that you like, and you say, I'm just going to hold on to this name.
hold
It's
on
not
to it.
expensive.
Yeah.
That's how people made millions of dollars in the .net industry. They bought things before people got hip to,
Yeah.
example, over 10 billion served. To buy that before McDonald's was smart enough to say, oh, we need to own that. And then you owned it. That not .net.
Yeah, I remember, I think it was the New York Yankees, someone fan had the name, and they had to pay to get that name back. So, yeah, you definitely want
So
to do
please look into that and buy your child's name, because that's the way America is moving. Those first people that come up are going to be the top money makers, because there is no yellow pages anymore where you open up and you see the biggest ad and you do it. Now that Google search.
Yeah.
So when you own your name, everything written, said about you will go into the cloud. That cloud, that whole iCloud scares me.
Wow. And that iPhone. I'm still learning.
What about the new iPhone that has face recognition? Do you
no,
own one?
I didn't get
Do you
that.
have one, Sheila? Are you
No.
dying to get one?
No.
No, I just wanted to ring. I'm a texter, so text me. But I want to, on a really sad and softer note, the family in the Bronx, Little Junior, that was, it's just been hanging, and it devastated me on my heart to see him dragged and killed that way on camera, you know, and then
For those who may not know, tell us, Veronica,
so
what happened.
the young boy that, and it was a case of mistaken identity. You know, I guess something happened with the girlfriend, the little, or no, his friend. She was
Taped or video?
videotaped supposedly having sex with her boyfriend. I guess it's her brothers, whoever they are. They were upset. They wanted to find out who this young boy was. She calls him up, tells him to meet her at that location. So basically, she set him up, and you know, they chased him into the store. They dragged him out.
And it was a case of mistaken identity.
It was mistaken identity. So, you know, he wanted to be an police officer at some point. And it was just so devastating.
What I don't
Haunted
understand,
me.
Veronica, when they were in court all being arraigned, why aren't you the big man then?
Yeah.
Everybody had their head down, everybody.
Because they had a time to think about, like, how stupid was that?
You think?
Am I really that tough that I, you know, like, you know, oh yeah, let's get him, you know, because they all, and I think they probably had a chance to think about
In
it.
a
but
blink
they're
of
gonna
an
go-
eye, now my life has changed.
I'm curious to know what's going to happen to the girl. Is that conspiracy? You know, the fact that she set him up? I don't know. I'm just curious. I don't want to throw something out there that people will say, oh, why are you calling on my daughter? But, you know, I'm just, you know. And then the candles, the tremendous amount of candles. I think WPIX had an overhead shot, and all you can see is the flickering of the light. How the community came out and rallied against this young man. And then the store owner who was about to lose, who the store is still closed, who lost his store for pushing this young boy out. You know, it's just devastated me. You know, it could have been my son. And I just, you know, so my heart and my condolences and everything goes out to the family. Like, you know, I'm so sorry for your loss.
And don't forget about the woman innocently shot to death on Castle Hill Avenue in front of my favorite diner, in front of Shore Haven. She was doing her job for the insurance company, handing out, trying to help people get insurance. I don't know whether they caught the young man or not, but they do have a big picture, you know, large picture of him walking. And a lot of people are afraid to go on Castle Hill Avenue.
Wow. And that's a
And
great diner, too. She took me there
And
one
plus
time.
they have the supermarkets, plus my Rite Aid. I had to step out by faith and say, if God be for me, who can be against me? And go pick up my prescription.
Do you think we have a
can't
lot
walk
more
in fear.
senseless? Is there more killings going on? 'Cause
I
it
think
seems
So
like
many,
it, right?
So many.
There are more
They're
people
saying
in the
crime
world.
is down, though.
There are more people in the world, and we hear about it quicker, and it's bombarded more now. We could hear about it
Yes,
on our internet, on our telephones, on the pop-ups, on the computer, on the news. We hear about it, and I think we hear about a certain type of crime more.
But what is
Then we
happening
hear-
to us?
Yes, it's in our neighborhood.
What is happening to us, our people, our souls? You know, sometimes I wonder. I'm like, are these the final days?
It seems like
Here it is. You have the wars and rumors of wars, and you know, like all of these
Everything's being
things of
fulfilled.
the earthquakes, the floods, the tsunamis. What is going on?
everything is being fulfilled. All I can say, revelations.
So then, how do we prepare ourselves? What do? Do you pray up, or do you pack a go bag?
have
You can't go anywhere. There is nowhere. There is nowhere to go. It's turning internal, and I hate to quote Michael Jackson at this point, but you got to start with the man in the mirror, and you
Wow.
got to be good and know that today I did all I could do to spread wisdom, to uplift somebody else, and to get out of myself for a little while. Because I think we're becoming a country and a nation of me. Me, and spontaneous. I'm not spontaneous, instantaneously. Is that a word, Veronica? Instant. I want it instant gratification. That's what this has taught young people. I want it now. I want it now. I can't flip the pages of a book. I want it now. I want it now. I want everything now. You know, I want an instant relationship. That's why I'm going to be half naked. I want instant money. That's why I'm going to do things. And I just think we're becoming that whole me. I find it when I'm on the train that people no longer think about, well, that
Other
elderly person needs to sit down, or why do I have 3 suitcases here? I had to tell a woman earlier today. I said, ma'am, you can put one of the suitcases in front of you and one in front of your son, instead of you and your son sitting with your legs out and 2 suitcases in front of 2 seats.
Wow.
And people are standing.
Wow.
And her face looked at me like, "Ugh, if I have to." She thought it was better for me to stand, and a lot of people around us, and 2 suitcases in front of 2 seats.
And
than to
nobody
put them in
challenges
front of
them.
her.
Yeah, nobody challenges.
You know, I think I'm at that age now
Riding the subway.
that, you know, when they say you get a certain age, you don't care
You
anymore.
don't care. I don't care.
I think I'm right about
don't
there
care.
now. Yeah.
Riding
I'll
the
say things when I
subways
want.
has become a disastrous thing.
Yeah,
now.
it is.
It's not like it was. I remember we enjoyed taking a train ride to Coney Island, and that's far from Harlem. You know, you take the D train all the way, you ride for at least an hour. But now you have this big fear. It's the people, the rats, all sorts of things.
I've seen them.
Okay, we did not go from having a great time this summer in New
We're
York
having a
City to
great
now talking
time.
about rodents.
Yes.
Moving forward, I'd like to remind the audience out there that we will be back in September.
Yay.
We too will be taking the month of August off. We will be working with Nat, however, you just won't see us. We'll definitely be back in September. We're looking for an incredible, incredible holiday season moving forward. I myself I'm doing more thinking about my future than I've ever done, and basically retirement.
Really?
I'm starting. Yeah, I'm
Wow.
starting. I've been reading up and AARP and all those places. And hey, don't judge me. I like AARP. I'm getting my discount everywhere I go. And they're pulling out my card like, lady, how old are you? Show us your ID. And they're like, well, I guess nobody lie about being that old. I'm like, no, I'm not lying. Okay, and little boy, the only thing you can do for me is tell me if your father happily married.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking more about and whether I want to be here.
And travel and relax.
Well, I
and
just don't know if I want to be here in my retirement.
Oh,
How do you
wow.
feel?
Be here in New York?
Being in New York
Oh,
in
wow.
your
What is the world
80s and
without-
90s and taking stairs
gotcha.
and
I'm 72 years young.
And carrying
Wow.
it well.
And
Wow.
I love to be in New York.
I love New
where I
York.
live. I concentrate on how I can help make it better and spread the word among the neighbors, and we fight for what we want. It's a joyous fight. And I don't even plan vacations the way I used to because we have such a good time being with ourselves in New York.
And the thought of learning to drive all over again. I mean, I drive and I have a driver's license, but you know, for those of you who don't know, New York is a place where you get on the subway,
And
you
go
take
where
a
you
bus.
gotta go and
yeah.
Or Cesaride.
He said,
Yeah, Accessoride,
said,
Uber.
"Rap,
Yeah,
time to
we
go."
just have those type of things.
He said,
Guys,
1
we've
minute.
run out of time.
Yay.
And I don't know where it goes when I'm talking to these ladies, but I think I speak on behalf of everyone when I say, get out, enjoy.
yeah.
Enjoy the summer. Get some vitamin D. Do something you haven't done. I challenge you right now to do something you haven't done.
Only have one life
That
to
we know
live.
about.
Yes.
That we know about. Veronica, any last
So
words?
then I think I will, sing.
No!
Close us out with
No.
a wonderful solo, dog.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sing.
Go ahead.
Sing.
Summertime and the living is easy.
I sing and she acts.
Yeah, no,
Because she
that's
is
right, 'cause I can't
amazing.
sing
Oh,
either.
she's so funny. Oh my God, Lou, that's your calling
We
right
thank
there.
you for
It is
watching
not over for
Takeover
you.
Tuesday. Make sure you follow up with Nat and his genius politics and viewpoints. We love you here. Takeover Tuesday. I'm Lou Sierra.
Sheila Berry.
And Veronica, see you.
We love you. We'll see you in September.
Yes.
Thanks, Nat, for letting us take over again. We know it's not easy, you control freak, you.
Love you.
I